Preview. Preview.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Got a viewer question here. Comic marketing. Comic marketing. You know, it's funny. Before I get into this message, although I think they tie together really well, is that for a long time, I remember in college that people talked about the easiest things in the world to market. Like the jobs where you could be asleep, don't pay attention. They should pay you less because the jobs are so easy to do. And in that space were like Hollywood blockbusters, entertainment, and comic books were in there. And of course, comic books were booming. They're starting to get really big during this time frame. And the idea was that comic books are, I mean, it's excitement, it's escapism, it's flashy art, it's easy entry price that kind of makes you laugh these days. But it was the job is so simple. You know, you can just kind of roll. You don't need any marketing at all, in fact. And it always feels like sometimes the big publishers took that lesson to heart. They're like, "Hey, you're right. We don't need any marketing. What are we doing all this stuff for? And let's just stop." And that kind of feels like where we are today. Of just, it feels like there's still some people believing that these products sell themselves, and you don't need to get behind them. You don't need to message them. You don't need to do anything because they're too powerful to fail. It's always my favorite perspective that people have sometimes. Anyway, to the message, and the message goes, "Hey, Perch, comic marketing has always driven me crazy. Do they really think that there is somebody going into a comic shop and buying a Titans book that is unaware that there is a current HBO Max show?" Now, in this message, there is a picture of Titans United, which is the show that feels like it's trying to tie into that HBO Max show, because it's leveraging more of those characters. It's not doing a weird Hogwarts Academy kind of thing. Anyway, on the cover of issue 5, there's a little purple sticker that says, "Watch DC Titans on HBO Max." And the kind of irritating part is this sticker doesn't necessarily, it doesn't at all blend in with Donna Troy and a kind of red hue. She's got a shield up and she's ready to go attacking, and you got this purple round sticker looking thing plastered right underneath the logo over her hair. Which anyway looks terrible. Anyway, back to the message. Meanwhile, there are probably tens of thousands of people watching the show that have no idea that the comic books are being published and the Titans have an ongoing series. Technically, it's a 7-part series, and there's Titans College. But why don't they do actual commercials for the books alongside these shows? They are owned by the same company. It seems inexcusable. So, here. First of all, yeah, I think you're right. It is inexcusable, and for a long time the excuse was, well, we don't own the shows. Well, it's a different company. It's hard. That space is really expensive. Except all those arguments have gone away now. DC is owned by Warner Media. Warner Media is putting out the show. They're putting it out on HBO Max. They're not putting it out on a network. So therefore, things like advertising space and fighting for commercial time go away. You can put whatever you want into that show. They do it all the time, usually to advertise other shows. And HBO seems really egregious of promoting things that have nothing to do with what I'm watching. Like, I'll click in there. It's like, okay, I'm gonna watch Suicide Squad, and here's an ad for what were they? Just some bizarre drama, comedy, nothing that looked at all like comic books, or they weren't even advertising the new seasons of the Titans or Doom Patrol or any of that stuff. It was completely random stuff. Anyway, that is aggravating just on that surface. But they're not paying for it anymore. It's not like they're accepting outside money to promote shows, and therefore there's no room for an ad. Which even there is kind of nonsense when you're running a streaming service which has no set time slot for these shows. It can be 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour and a half. Who cares? It's just going on there and out it goes. So that part's bizarre and bizarre and stupid. It really is. It's a wasted opportunity for sure. Now, the conventional logic, and what I've heard a lot over the last 3 years, and I hear it from all corners, not just the publishers. I hear it from fans. I hear it from other YouTubers. I hear it from retailers. Is this it's this comment of the people who watch the movies and the shows don't buy the comics, i.e., don't waste your time cross promoting because they're not going to buy comics. There's just no point to it. I've never understood this point of view because that it's definitely not my experience. And in fact, the people who tend to come into the shops are the customers you want. They tend to be younger. They tend to be at the start of their comic buying journey. Sometimes it's a dad who's a lapsed comic collector, and they're bringing the kid in. They're trying to forge this new bond. And I've had people come in going, "Hey, we just got out of the Black Panther movie. What Black Panther books do you got?" And I'm like, "Well, here he's gone to space now." It's like, "Oh, are they? Is this what's going to happen in Black Panther 2?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know about that. But I'm going to go with no. But here's a Black Panther comic. Here's some graphic novels. Here's some, maybe be interested in this. Here's a time that Wakanda went up against Lavernia. That's kind of a cool storyline. You can kind of check that out. It's like, who's this Doctor Doom guy? It's like, okay, all right, well, we're in for a long day. But lots of people came in from the movies. They came in with Black Panther. They came in with the Avengers. They came in with Ant-Man. They came in with Captain Marvel. They came into the store wanting to buy something that connected to the movie. Now, I'm not sure they came in thinking, I'm ready to start buying a monthly comic book at $5. Most likely they're coming in looking for a trade paperback or graphic novel or movie adaptation or any number of kind of things. But definitely customers come in wanting that stuff. The problem is there really isn't much stuff to give them. You don't have a huge bench. You can start to give them things, from the past, but the publishers will defeat you there sometimes by not keeping things in print that relate to the movies they're putting out. A lot of shops had this situation go on with WandaVision, where the basically the the graphic novel, the collection, was put out well into the show or after the show had ended. I think the same thing happened more or less with Loki as well. But this is the kind of stuff that goes on. But definitely people want to buy comics who watch these movies, some form of comics anyway. And it is an opportunity when somebody comes in to say, "Oh yeah, you like that Black Panther? Well, here's a comic. You got his monthly comic right here. Here you go. It's easy entry price because the movie's out, so we want to get people in. So it's $2 or it's $2.99. It's cheaper, and if you want, you can start collecting it. What's really cool about comics is like TV and like Netflix. It's like a season that never ends. Every month there's a new book out, and you can come in, you can buy this book, and you can keep feeling this feeling you're feeling right now. Every month you can come in and get this comic. That would be nice, and I think it would work. It would require the comics to shift a little bit to be. I hesitate to use words more accessible because that's not it exactly. But the comics need to carry on the same theme as the show, and I think that's the best way to put it. You don't have to make your comic book like the movie. You don't have to change everything around. If Hollywood made some decisions that altered the characters and everything else, you don't need to do that. But if you're picking up a Ant-Man book, say, it should be, high action, some heist elements, a little bit of some comedy in there. If you're picking up Black Panther, it should be, rich on lore, high action, big threats, world ending. It should not feature them, having dinner, long parliamentary meetings, endless dialogue boxes of some, random thing where, the Black Panther is being scolded for whatever he did, like he went to sleep in a council meeting or something. I mean, like, you got to have the comic thematically feel like the movie or the show. Doom Patrol should be wacky. You shouldn't be putting out a Doom Patrol that's like a straight up superhero book. It should have those kinds of elements that the show did, or frankly, like the original comic did. These are all things that you should do. Generally speaking, though, the comic book has a very different theme from the movie, and the movie and the shows. You'll notice I use the word high action in all of them. I mean, that at the end of the day, they are action films with big action moments in them. So if you're going to get people excited about Captain Marvel, for example, you're going to need to start to do some elements there that relate to what was in that movie. And if you've got comments about her bad love life and Rhodey is on the outs, and I mean, like, you can't be completely abnormal to what's going on there. That's all I'm saying. But in terms of marketing, Yeah, I mean, especially for things like Disney Plus and HBO Max, they should absolutely connect to the comics. They should absolutely give readers that feel. They should make sure that the comic book connects to what was going on, and that the readers who are reading the comic know the. Yeah. Again, I agree with your point. I heavily doubt people actually buying and reading Titans are unaware that there's a show. But the other way around, yeah, probably quite likely. You're looking for something to stream, you click onto this, you should be directed to some Titan stuff. Why not? That audience is there. Anyway, it's a missed opportunity. It's a frustrating one, and it'd be very easy to solve, like super easy to solve. And you just something up there saying, Titan comic books. You got and lean into kind of something that's special about comic books. Pages and pages of art, pages and pages of story going, taking you deeper into the Titans lore, thousands of back issues. Yeah, reference the back issues, even if you're not immediately paid for them. Reference that kind of material and then push up like a streaming show. Every month there's a new comic out. A streaming show, they put them out all at once, so they're out weekly, but the point is to sell serialized. This adventure can never end. That's the way you do it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for listening.